What is going on with celebrity faces, and why are some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood suddenly turning themselves into this like AI slop that doesn't even look like themselves anymore? We've just seen way too many celebrities, mostly women, but even some men now who are building themselves a new face. And I think we have to ask what's going on here. Here is Mandy Moore. And I saw a comment on TikTok, and I have to say it because it was so funny. Someone said, Mandy Moore, more like Mandy less. And I know the picture on the right here, at first you're like, oh, okay, maybe she had some serious weight loss. But you can tell, look at the eyelids. And there are plenty of plastic surgeons on TikTok who have gone over this and explained. One of the surgeries she had done was this upper lid surgery. I forgot the exact name of it, but it hollowed out her eyes, and she's gotten other stuff done that just makes her look like a different person. I mean, even more than just the structure of her face changing, it looks like she's dead inside. Her eyes look dead. And she was such a pretty girl before. She had such a unique face. And again, Mandy Moore is just the tip of the iceberg here. Can you tell who this is? Because I will say, when I saw this last year, I didn't know who it was at first. I had to zoom in. I was like, wait, I kind of know this face, but I also don't. Yeah, you guys, this is Kate Beckinsale. It doesn't even look like the same person. Who is that? Who is that? Seriously, I'm thinking back to the serendipity days, and I cannot even put these two people together. And of course, here is Miley Cyrus. The photo on the left is the new face of Gucci, and everyone saw this photo. We were freaking out. We were like, who is this person? Where is Hannah Montana? Obviously here, the look is with the no eyebrows, and that makes the look even more extreme. It makes it look more pronounced. But look at the cheeks. This is the buccal fat removal. It's obviously like a deep plain facelift. It also looks like she got that upper eyelid surgery to sort of make the eyes look hollowed out. These women are looking like the Hunger Games. It looks like the Capitol at the Hunger Games. And you know what? I'm sorry. I have to say this because everyone has been thinking it. These women are starting to make themselves look trans. I'm sorry. That's what it's starting to look like. And it's so bizarre because it's almost like they've become so rich and so wealthy that they've suddenly have to make themselves look emaciated and very hungry and like they're living in poverty. Like the buccal fat removal, it takes the fat away from the cheeks. And the whole thing is, when you get older, like the more fat that you lose, the older you look more quickly. And so these women are hollowing out their faces, and even the eyelid surgeries to make their eyes look hollowed out. It's like they've become so rich that it's this horseshoe theory thing that they want to look like they're living in poverty. They want to look like they're starving. And here's Emily Blunt. I love Emily Blunt. She's one of my favorite actresses. I've always adored her ever since the Devil Wears Prada days. What is this face? She's so swollen. It doesn't even look like her. Oh, it's the fillers. It's obviously some sort of facelift, and you can just tell the difference. You can just see that she just looks so different here. Look at this. And here's Vanessa Kirby. I really liked her in The Crown. I will admit that's the first time I ever saw this actress. I didn't know who she was before. But in recent things, like she was in Fantastic Four, her face is just looking different in the press tour. I mean, the eyelids are lifted up, and people will say, oh, but that's just a makeup trick. That's more than a makeup trick, honey. Let's put our big girl pants on and admit that something's happening here. She obviously got the filler. It looks like she even got some buckle removal. The lips are different. I mean, the lip fillers are something that we can kind of get on board with. I get that you want fuller lips, but this face looks different. Erin Moriarty, here she is. Who is that face on the right? She's an actress in The Boys. She was so cute. Look how adorable she was. She had this adorable girl next door, unique face. And then she just created this like jigsaw angular face for herself. Even Selena Gomez, who I know the official narrative is that she has lupus. It's like all of her fans, they can't stop talking about, oh, it's because she has lupus. Okay. How dumb does her PR team think we are? Honestly, how dumb do her handlers think that we are, that we're supposed to believe that lupus totally changed the shape of her face? At some point, we have to admit, even Selena Gomez got all the fillers and the cat eye surgery and the facelift, pulling the skin back, the new cheekbones, the new face shape. I mean, it's gotten out of hand. And of course, we have to talk about momager Kris Jenner, who now looks like Kim Kardashian's sister. She looks like one of the sisters rather than the matriarch of the clan. And it's not just women. Look at Bradley Cooper. Or is that Barry Manilow? Barry Manilow, is that you in there? Who is this man? Do you guys remember him in, what was the movie he did? A Star is Born. Remember what he looked like in the Lady Gaga movie? He was so rugged and masculine and rough and so handsome. I always thought he was handsome. I mean, even in the movie, this is not one of his more well-known movies, but I kind of like it. See, this is totally Barry Manilow. But that movie Burnt, where he was the crazy chef, he was so cute in that too. And now this is like frozen Barry Manilow face. So we have to admit, this phenomenon has gotten out of hand. And I honestly think it's reflective of something that's going on in our culture on a much deeper level. And I want to say this, I want to preface this by saying I'm no purist. I am not somebody who thinks that women or men should never, ever get any cosmetic work done. I get it. You know, you want to enhance your beauty in some point, that's fine. I've never gotten any work done yet. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a little facelift when I'm in my 50s. But no, seriously, there's a difference between enhancing your natural beauty and you might get some tasteful work done. And there are plenty of women out there who have gotten tasteful work done. But that's very different from this whole phenomenon where women are completely building themselves a new face and getting rid of all of their own special, unique, distinctive qualities. And we're creating these shiny, flawless, plastic faces that look like robots. And I think it's unhealthy on both a collective and a personal level. And let's talk about the collective level first. Whether or not you like to admit it, whatever happens in Hollywood on the sort of celebrity level, whatever the celebs and influencers are doing, that's going to eventually trickle down to teens and many young women. It's going to inform the way that they think about beauty. It's going to inform the way they think about their own bodies, the way they think about fashion. It's going to inform what they wear, how they act, how they perceive marriage and children and family, what kind of diets they eat, what kind of workouts they consider. Culture is everything. That very famous Breitbart quote, politics is downstream from culture. And of course, we also know culture is downstream from religion, but that's another conversation. So of course, the most famous, beloved celebrities and influencers are a big part of that culture. And what they're doing to their faces is going to affect everyday women at some point. And I may be in the minority here, but I want my daughter, who just turned 4 years old, like just turned 4, I want her to grow up in a world that teaches her that her unique beauty is something that should be celebrated, not something that needs to be changed by a plastic surgeon. I don't want her to grow up in a world where she thinks that you can just buy yourself a new plastic face just because you're going to look prettier. Because, you know, I understand some of these transformations. We see these before and after photos and they say, yeah, well, they do look better. Like Kris Jenner does look better. Okay, but better and prettier doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing to do to yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing that our society widely accepts as normal. And of course, all of these extreme transformations are reflective of our consumerist culture that is obsessed with anti-aging. The whole anti-aging thing is just, it's consumerist at its core. They constantly want you to buy a new product, a new cream, a new drink, some kind of new cosmetic procedure that's going to make you look better. It's going to take years off of your life. It's going to make you look younger. It's going to make you look fresh. It is consumerist at its core. And so much of American culture is consumerist at its core. But what is so wrong with looking our age? What is so wrong with looking like you're 35, looking like you're 45, looking like you're 50, 60? I mean, it used to be like the older you got, the more wisdom you accrued in life. It was like a badge of honor, and that is gone. Look, I just turned 36. I hit the wall. No, but seriously, I turned 36, and I feel like in the last just several months, I started looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to look a little bit different, right? So every year on my daughter's birthday, I do a little video with her. And we just did her 4th birthday video, and we were talking, and I went back after she went to sleep and I looked at some of her older videos from her 2nd and 3rd birthday. And I was like, look at me. I'm in the video. I'm like, look at me. I was so much younger. I had fewer wrinkles. I looked so fresh. I didn't have any gray hairs. And I understand that, especially as women, when we get to a certain age or get to a certain stage in life, and that may look different for everybody when exactly that is, we sort of have this inherent concern about aging. We look at ourselves and we're like, Okay, well, things are a little bit different, and you may feel a little bit anxiety about aging, and that's okay. It's normal. But then you combine that with a culture that is obsessed with anti-aging and constantly makes you feel like you must look younger. It's a very dangerous combination. It's like our culture preys on that insecurity. It capitalizes on it, and it manipulates us when we get to that stage where we're already feeling this sort of natural discomfort with aging. Again, that's okay. It's a human experience that we're all going to have. But instead of dealing with that in a more healthy way, our society capitalizes on that and throws all of this anti-aging BS in our faces to try to get us to buy it. And it turns into this perfect storm of insecurity, and then buying things, and then building new faces, and then accepting widespread plastic surgery as if it's a good, normal thing. The grandmother, the matriarch of the family, used to be accepted as this wise, sage leader of the family who everybody used to go to with their problems, right? She was this shrewd woman that had so much to offer. And you cannot separate the physical from the emotional and the spiritual. So the grandmother who is physically aging, she has the wrinkles, her skin is starting to sag. She gives the softest hugs and the warmest embraces, because there's something about her aging body that matches perfectly with how much her mind and her heart and her soul have experienced with life. So there's something about that emotional and mental wisdom that just aligns perfectly with her softness, the softness of her aging body. And so you think of a grandmother, that's what the grandmother and matriarch of the family used to be like. And I think about my grandmother. I'm just, emotional thinking about her, my dad's mom. She passed away when I was 17 or 18. She had lung cancer, but she was just the sweetest old lady, and she would always get her nails done. But I remember her wrinkly hands and her sort of wrinkly face. And I think about someone like Kris Jenner. She's 69 years old, and she looks like she's like plastic and tight, and it's like this, like frozen, right? Just like totally frozen. And you almost think it's like this mannequin, like this Tesla robot that has lost a lot of the humanity and the wisdom and the full experience of life that a grandmother and a matriarch should have. Also, I want to say this, all of these extreme surgeries and the plastic surgery transformations, they're turning everyone into the same face. It's this like genderless, homogenous pile of plastic faces. And it's also something, this thing where people are starting to lose their natural ethnic features. Like I shared some of these before and after photos on my Insta, and one of my followers, I'll never forget, she said this, she says, I feel like a lot of these women are losing the features and the characteristics that their ancestors gave them. And she said, I'm Swedish. She says, I don't want lip filler. I don't want to get butt implants. Like I want to look Swedish. She said, that's my heritage. Like this is what I want to look like. These are the features that God gave me and that were passed down in my family. And that hit me. That was like, yes, because I'm half Asian, half Italian, and I have the hooded eyes, and the hooded eyes are one of the most common characteristics in Korean culture. Like most East Asians have the hooded eyes, and that's why in South Korea, which is like plastic surgery mecca these days, the eyelid surgery is so common to give you the hollowed out, larger eyelid surface in your eyes. But it's like you're tearing away a part of your heritage, like a characteristic that your ancestors have. And there's something about that kind of feels icky to me. That's not something that's enhancing your natural beauty. That's something that's changing your face. And it's so ironic, isn't it? It's from the group of people that constantly talk about how diversity is our greatest strength and all these different ethnicities and cultures are so beautiful. Okay, if you think that it's beautiful to look different ethnically, why are you changing your ethnic features? Because all of these faces end up having the same features. They get like a very similar nose. They get the same high cheekbones. They get the same hollowed out cheeks. They get the same chin. They'll shave down their chin to be perfectly symmetrical and cute. And they make sure they have like the same size forehead. It's like you're getting rid of a lot of these natural ethnic features that you claim are so beautiful. And then from the personal perspective, we talked about collectively, I don't think it's so great. From a personal perspective, this is going to be really controversial, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments, but I think it is harmful to yourself to abuse yourself with plastic surgery and cosmetic enhancements. I think it's a form of like self-harm, like abuse. I don't think it's healthy for you to do that to yourself. Like down to the soul level, like constantly changing your appearance and being obsessed with changing the way that you look. I think that harms you down to the emotional and to the soul level. Because what you do physically to your body, of course, is going to affect you mentally and emotionally. See, this is our postmodern society wants people to believe that you can separate the physical from the mental and emotional. They think that they're not connected. They are inseparable. So what you end up doing to yourself physically over and over again, it's going to affect you mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's like a person who abuses themselves with drugs or alcohol or overeating ultra processed junk food. They are harming themselves emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Of course they are. It's the same thing when you abuse yourself with plastic surgery. You're harming yourself on an emotional level. And it's just like, we talked about having tasteful work done. It's the same thing with drugs, alcohol, and food. Like you can enjoy some alcohol in moderation. You can enjoy some ultra processed junk food a little bit here and there, maybe in moderation. You don't have to abuse it. Maybe you can get some tasteful cosmetic enhancements done without abusing it. But it goes back to what many of us have said for a long time. It sometimes just feels like we live in a society that just hates women's natural beauty. Like they're constantly trying to either overly sexualize women in these contexts of like famous women, celebrities, singers, influencers. Like they're constantly trying to over sexualize them, which I believe in a way takes away a lot of their natural beauty when you just lead with the pure sexuality and you don't honor the woman as a whole holistic being. Either that or they're making these women ugly in the name of beauty. They're making these women ugly in the name of amazing plastic surgery technology. Look what we can do. We can make a 70-year-old look 45 again. And it's also erasing like the beautiful differences between men and women, because there is something so hard. And I mean, even to the touch, there's something so hard about these plastic surgery faces where women lose their natural feminine softness. And that is quite literally what the buccal fat removal surgery does. It is a crime against humanity. It takes away the women's natural softness in their cheeks. Like Anya Taylor-Joy, very famous actress. People love her. Have you guys seen what she looks like before? Her face was totally different. She had a lot of softness and she sucked out all the fat in her cheeks. So she looks like this hollow, emaciated, starving mannequin. And yeah, I know I everything that I'm saying here, people can be like, well, you're just jealous because they're prettier than you. Okay. Yeah, they're prettier than me. Fine. We can get past that. They're prettier than most of us. But again, why are we so obsessed with making pretty the standard for everything moral? Like, as long as it's pretty, it's okay. And this is the thing about AI. This is why I often relate the plastic surgery obsession to AI. It turns into AI slop, because just because an AI model is pretty, just because an AI scenario where they do like these AI scenes, outdoor scenes with the lakes and the mountains, just because it's pretty doesn't mean it's real or it has substance or it has meaning. And I think that's something that's so hard for our modern society to understand, that just because something is pretty, just because a celebrity's face is prettier after 10 plastic surgeries, does not necessarily mean that is a good moral thing, both on a collective and a personal level. And then you see a lot of these trans people, and they look exactly the same as the women who get these major plastic surgeries done. This is why, you can call it a conspiracy theory. It's almost like they're pushing all of this so that we end up in this genderless world. I don't want to live in a genderless world. I love the differences between men and women. I think we complement each other, and I think we're the perfect union. And we make beautiful children. Like, men and women should be different. And I don't like this genderless AI slop that's coming from plastic surgery. And I don't think it's good for our society. And I know it makes me sound like some kind of prude. They're like, Gina, get over yourself. This is the future. I don't want this to be our future. And also, what happened to original faces in Hollywood? Remember in the early 2000s, all the actresses looked different. They had their own look. I even remember Mandy Moore in like A Walk to Remember. She still had her crooked teeth. She just, her eyelids were hooded and her face was not perfectly symmetrical, but she was so pretty and adorable. So there's this Christmas movie I love to watch every year. It's probably my favorite Christmas movie, called The Family Man with Nicolas Cage. And the actress, Téa Leoni, Every year I watch that movie, I look at her, and over the last 5 years, I say to myself, to my husband, I'm like, that face would not be a major A-list Hollywood face today. And I don't mean that in a mean way at all. She's beautiful. She was and is beautiful, but her face is so cute and natural, and she didn't have anything fake about her. And that's one of the things that makes actresses great, in my opinion, when they can make full expressions with their natural face. But I see her face and I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't see that face in a blockbuster movie today. You just won't. And that makes me sad. You know, all these different faces of the early 2000s, even the early 2010s, the actresses looked different. And like, do you really want to live in a world where every single face on screen is this like frozen plastic face? Like, you want to see that over and over again? It's so boring. It really is. There's something so boring and soulless and meaningless about this world where every face is just constructed to look exactly the same and perfectly symmetrical and just perfect. It's like the Stepford Wives. It's like so perfect. Like, I'm good. No thanks. So yeah, the concerned mother in me is worried about what this is going to be like for our daughters in 10, 15 to 20 years. Like it's getting to the point where women are getting plastic surgery younger and younger and younger, you know, and women are getting the lip fillers younger and younger, which again, the lip filler thing is like, you know, maybe one day I'll get it because I have kind of a thin upper lip, but the lip filler thing is, I feel like kind of a different category. You're not at least building yourself a new face, you know, it's kind of enhancing the lips that you have, whatever. That's something that I could almost get on board with. But my whole point is women are getting things like that done at a much younger age now. So I think you fast forward 10, 20 years, we're going to be seeing women getting the buccal fat removal, the cat eye surgery, even the facelifts at a younger age. So that Kris Jenner photo where she got the new face, one of my followers works for her plastic surgeon. And she and I were kind of talking a little bit about, you know, who the celebrities that she's taking care of, whatever. And it was one of those things where she said they're having younger women come in to get deep plane facelifts, like 34-year-old pop stars, like 36-year-old billionaires coming in to get a deep plane facelift at 34, 35, 36. That's crazy. And yeah, the prices for these types of celebrity plastic surgeons are insane, but there's going to be such a higher demand for it that the prices are going to drop with other surgeons. And before you know it, mark my words, in 20 years, I don't know if YouTube is still going to be a thing, but you can come back and look at this video and we will all agree together today that women are going to start getting these plastic surgeries done at a much younger age. And I don't think that's good really for anybody. So again, you can call Auntie Gina prude. That's fine. I don't care. What do you guys think? Am I overreacting? I don't think I am. I will say most of my friends here on Insta, those of you who follow me and message me, I think like 99% of us are in agreement that this is just getting to be out of hand. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if there's something new that you guys want me to take on my next video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.